Glacier Bay is not only one of my favorite spots in Alaska, but it's one of my favorite spots in the world. We all crave wild places. We crave places where we can feel completely free, completely liberated from all of the stresses of our modern world, from all the negativity that comes through. And when we come out into Glacier Bay, we remember that we're part of something much greater. We remember that life is a gift and that it's meant to be celebrated. That's why I keep coming back to this place year after year.
When you approach Glacier Bay for the very first time, it is your anticipation that is answered back by the wilderness.
This is a special place. At the end of the earth, the birth of the world is continuing before our eyes.
Glacier Bay will change you. It will change you with the conversation you have with the glaciers, that feeling that you get from that wilderness and that wild. It will change you.
So when we're coming from Skagway, we'll come around, we'll go down Lynn Canal and we'll come into Icy Strait. And as we come up Icy Strait, we'll go past Pleasant Island and then we'll be at the entrance to Glacier Bay. And then as we make that turn into Glacier Bay, we'll go a couple miles into the bay and a small boat will come out to meet us. We'll open a door in the side, we'll lower a ladder down, and the rangers will climb on board to join us for the day.
This is a 3.3 million acre wilderness area that adjoins 3 other national park areas across our international boundary. So we're actually in one of the most remote places you can reach on Earth.
The thing that's really special about Glacier Bay, this whole area, just 200 years ago, was completely covered in glaciers. This was the middle of the Little Ice Age, and glaciers had advanced.
The Little Ice Age began actually around the year 1300 and went on for centuries, and it reached its apex in the 18th century, right around the year 1750.
Usually go to Jaw Point where we've got a view up this inlet to Johns Hopkins Glacier, which is another just amazing glacier. It's like looking at a postcard. You just can't, you're looking at it and you can't believe that you're not looking at some spectacular photo that some guy from National Geographic took.
Did you get it?
I don't know.
Marjorie Glacier is it's a beautiful glacier. It starts way up in the mountains at about 12 or 13,000 feet. And it's about 17 miles long. It moves about 10 feet a day. And so a glacier moving 10 feet a day, it means that 10 feet of ice is coming down and 10 feet of ice is calving off, theoretically. The glacier retreated back about 35 miles when John Muir showed up in the 1870s. And then since then has retreated almost 65 miles back to the end of the bay.
White thunder is the term that the native Tlingit peoples give to the falling of the ice from the glacier's face. So when a glacier reaches the ocean, it has nowhere else to go. And of course the ocean is warmer than the ice, so the ice will fall in. It'll produce a tremendous sound as it does so, which they know as white thunder.
This is the glacier shifting around as the ice, pushes forward one place and something will collapse inside the glacier and then it'll push forward someplace else. And so this process of all of the ice moving forward, when it gets to the edge of the glacier where it's in the water, something's got to give. So something gives off the face of the glacier and hopefully a big piece of ice will fall down into the water. And again, it's just amazing. The natives call it white thunder. And you get this tremendous roar as the ice comes down and it crashes into the water, and then there's this wave that's generated that'll come rolling towards the boat after the calving. And then all the birds will fly over because as the ice falls into the water, it's bringing up little shrimp and krill and things from down deep and bring them up to the surface of the water. So all the gulls come in, and so they get a little feast as an extra bonus from the calving. Glaciers that are in tidewater, they can't survive in deep water. They have to build up a pile of dirt and rubble underneath them called a moraine. And so most glaciers, if you see a tidewater glacier, will be at Marjorie a quarter mile off or a half mile off. We'll be in 400 to 600 feet of water. But that glacier is sitting in about 75 to 100 feet of water because it's got that big pile of dirt and rubble built up under it.
When we got to the Marjorie Glacier, we were also able to see a little bit of the Grand Pacific Glacier. The Grand Pacific Glacier suffered a landslide years ago, and many folks didn't even know they were looking at not only a glacier, but the glacier which produced this bay.
People going in for the first time, I think one of the reactions we get is they just can't believe it. I mean, I can't count the number of times that people have come up to me and they said, I've heard about Glacier Bay for years, And I've always thought I wanted to come to Alaska, and when I did, I want to come to Glacier Bay. And now that I'm here, I'm humbled. I've moved. You know, this is one of the most incredible places I've ever been in my life.
A reminder to all folks that Glacier Bay is their national park. It's your national park. It belongs to all of us. It's our common patrimony. And we want to keep this national park idea alive, and we do so by visiting these places, by celebrating these places and sharing them with those that we love. So invite your friends and family to come up and visit us here in Alaska and tell them what makes this such a special place.